City on a Hill Kids Church Online.
I'm Lola.
And I'm Jamie. Today we're going to learn more of Psalm 23.
Jamie, do you remember the part that we learned last week?
Yes.
What was it?
The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want.
That's right. Today we're learning the next part, after this time of worship.
Hey guys, today's dance along is to the classic song One Way by Hillsong Kids. Now if you'd like to download this tutorial along with other worship videos, go ahead and check out my Patreon page at the description below. Come on, now let's have some fun.
Your feet, you're the only one I need. I turn to you and you are always there. In troubled times it's you I see. I put you first, that's all I need. I humble all I am, all to you. One way, Jesus, you're the only one that
Psalm 23. We're going to add another verse to the psalm. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside the still waters. He restores my soul. It can also be said like this. He lets me rest in green meadows. He leads me beside peaceful streams. He renews my strength. A shepherd's flock has to eat, right? Can you imagine all the bleating and the crying that would go on if the flock are hungry all at the same time? It will be deafening. Not only do they have to eat, they also have to eat the right thing. Because, like, the sheep of the flock might go off and eat something that's poisonous. They don't know any better. So the shepherd has to lead them to the right place where the grass is the right kind of grass for them to eat. The flock have to drink, right? Have you ever been thirsty? If you have, animals like sheep and goat, they get thirsty too, and then they'll be very uncomfortable, crying and bleating, I'm thirsty, I'm thirsty, I'm thirsty. They'll not say exactly like that, but they would be uncomfortable and they would let the shepherd know it. So it's the shepherd's job to make sure that the flock eat and drink. And depending upon what time of the year it is, he has to plan how he does this. Like towards the end of autumn and in winter, when it's cold, the flock are looked after indoors. The shepherd has to go out and get food and bring it in. Just like how your parents or the grown-ups you live with go out and bring food in for you to eat. He also has to go out and get water and come in and fill the trough for the flock to drink. It is a hard job. However, in spring and summertime, when it's a bit warmer, he takes them out to the right place where there's lovely green grass for the sheep to eat and where you've got lovely leaves for the goats to eat, although the goats can eat grass too. But the flock are happy because they are eating what they like. Now, because sheep easily get frightened, the shepherd won't take the sheep to a place where the water, the streams are running very, very quickly and it's very noisy because they get all frightened and everything. So the shepherd will take them to a stream that is running very, very quietly and gently, or to pools of still water where the sheep can drink peacefully. In the evenings, the shepherd brings the flock together, he counts them, he checks them over to make sure that they've not got any cuts and bruises, just to make sure that they are all right. A shepherd is with the flock all the time. And do you know what? They even give, like the sheep, they give them names. And when that name is called, the right sheep would answer. Just like if I say Lola, Lola's going to answer. Or I say Jamie, Jamie's the one that's going to answer. It's the same way with the sheep. They know their names when they are called. As a matter of fact, it is only when their shepherd calls their names that they would answer. They don't answer to anyone else. That's the close relationship that the flock have with the shepherd. Another thing that the shepherd may do is to play his flute. He plays his flute in the evening to keep the flock calm. The music from the flute also makes them happy and rested so that the next day they can do whatever it is they need to do. That's exactly the same way that God is with us. You know, when he calls, we should be able to hear him and hear him alone. He is always with us. He takes care of us. He makes sure that we are healthy, that we are fed, that we have clothes, we're sheltered. He just makes sure that we don't have to worry about anything. And you know, if there's anything that we don't have because maybe it's gotten finished or it was taken away from us or it got broken, God replaces all such things. And sometimes he even replaces it with a better version of what you had in the first place. And you know, it's not a one-time thing. He replaces over and over and over again for as long as is necessary. So that's this part of Psalm 23. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside the still waters. He restores my soul. Next time, we're going to add another part to Psalm 23. I'll see you then.
Hi guys, how are you? Do you remember last week I was in the Lake District and we learned Psalm 23 verse 1. So let's try that all together. The Lord is my shepherd. I have everything I need. Well done. So this week I'm back home and I found somewhere really comfortable to do this week's memory verse because that fits with what the verse is about. So it starts by saying, he lets me rest. So our sign for rest can either be like this, like you're sleeping on your hands, or it could be something like this. He lets me rest. Good. In fields of green grass. And the sign for grass, I want you to wiggle your toes as if you're standing in bare feet in a beautiful, fresh green meadow. So he lets me rest in fields of green grass. And then it says, he leads me. So if you beckon like this to be the sign for lead, and he leads me to quiet pools. So put your finger to your lips for quiet pools of fresh water. And just do a watery sign for fresh water. So he leads me to quiet pools of fresh water. Okay, let's try that whole of verse 2 together. So, he lets me rest in fields of green grass, and he leads me to quiet pools of fresh water. Doesn't that sound amazing? Isn't God good to us? So let's try the whole thing, Psalm 23 verses 1 and 2, all together. So, the Lord is my shepherd. I have everything I need. He lets me rest in fields of green grass, and he leads me to quiet pools of fresh water. Psalm 23, verses 1 and 2. Well done, and keep practicing because next week we'll learn another verse. And now let's hand over to Natalie for the craft. Bye kids, see you next week.
Oh, hi kids. We're just out in the garden today, having a bit of fun and just relaxing. This is kind of like my green pastures that God leads me to be still in. And I thought we could do some craft out here. What do you think? Now, see, when I'm out in the garden, I can't enjoy it as much if I'm really worried about something. And so what I do is I give my worries to God, because he cares for me and he wants me to do that. And so what I'll do is I'll show you a little craft that I've made, which will help you to do that as well. So what are we going to need this week? We need paper, pens, a pair of scissors, some sellotape and a jar. You don't need a dog. This is optional. The first thing that you need to do is take your piece of paper and draw around your hands and then cut them out so that you have a pair of hands like this. Now, these are going to represent God's hands, and we're going to put all of our worries, all of our troubles into his hands because he cares for us and he wants us to do that. Okay, so once you've got your pair of hands, take your jar and you'll want another piece of paper, and on that piece of paper take some colours and write, "Cast all your cares on him because he cares for you." And that's from 1 Peter 5 verse 7. Take your piece of paper and measure it against your jar to make sure that it fits in there, and then just wrap it around and pop it in your jar. And if you like, you can take a piece of sellotape and just stick that in place. Okay, next take your hands that you've cut out and another piece of sellotape and stick the hands to the jar. There we go. Perfect. So now we've got a jar and it's empty at the moment, but what I can do is I can get a piece of paper and I can write down whatever it is that's troubling me. So, I'm worried I'm going to have to move house soon. Where am I going to live? God knows that one. So I'll give that one to him. What else? Well, sometimes I worry about Moomin. She's going to have to go to the vets tomorrow, but I'm sure God's going to look after her. But I'll give that one to God as well. Moomin. And you know, sometimes I worry about this coronavirus and COVID, and I worry about my family. So I think I'm going to write that down as well. Now, once I've got my worries written down on a piece of paper, I'm going to take my scissors, cut them out, and then I'm going to give them all to God. And I know that he's going to look after them because he loves me and he wants to take care of anything that I'm worried about. He loves you too. All right. And he loves you too, guys. So if you're ever worried about anything, just write it down on a piece of paper and give it to God. Okay? I'll see you again soon. Bye. Good girl.
Let's bring everything that we've learnt so far together. So, the Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside the still waters. He restores my soul.
Well done, Jimmy. But can you guys at home try it with us? Ready, set, go.
The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside the still waters. He restores my soul.
Well done. Restore and soul are rather tricky words, don't you think? Restore means to bring back, to replace, or to make new or good again. Soul is your mind, your thoughts, and your feelings. Putting these together, God makes our soul good, happy, and satisfied over and over again.
I wonder what part we're going to add on next time.
Same. That's it for this week.
Till next time.
Bye.